Well, I wasn't expecting such a large response to this, but I tweeted this out yesterday. I'm working on a way to help liberty-loving Canadians get out of Canada for a better life in the USA. How many out there are serious about making this move? I'm making this move myself. And today I'm going to talk about why and what's the holdup. Ladies and gents, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Clyde. Welcome to the channel. The subscribe button, I think, is just down there. Go click that. You're going to want to if you want to keep up to date on this story. Now, I don't normally talk about myself on this channel. I'm talking about what's happening in news. But this one's a little close to home. Now, my family and I, we've decided we are going to be leaving Canada. Now, this came about over a long time of what's happening in Canada. We're going to get into that. But what it came down to is the final straw was an economic situation that happened to our family. Now, this is not uncommon. We see this all over the place in Canada. In fact, this went to recently the Supreme Court of British Columbia. Vancouver, I know they say condo buyer, but it was a condo owner, was ordered to pay evicted tenants $39,000 after failing to prove she moved into the unit. TLDR, this article is about a landlord that kicked out their tenants because they wanted to jack the rents. And what they did was they said that they were moving in, which is the one legal reason you can kick someone out on short notice. Same thing happened to our family after 10 years of living in a rental unit. Now the market has exploded. Our rent went up $20,000 just this last year. Now, what's the holdup? What's been the holdup with this whole situation? Well, the holdup is immigration. Immigration is a long and arduous process, especially when you're dealing with governments. I mean, of course you're dealing with governments. Now, if you want to do it the correct way, if you want to do it like everyone who's being booted out of the United States currently, well, you just jump the border. But if you want to do it correctly, you have to do it legally. Now, I am a U.S. citizen, so a lot of people are asking, what is the holdup? Why is it that you have to wait so long? Well, my wife is not a U.S. citizen. In fact, she's not even a Canadian citizen. She is a Japanese national, and there's a process. So in the process for this, and we'll get more into this, I think I'll do many more videos on this subject, I have to file a I-130 petition. That's the file name, or the name of that document. I have to file that with the U.S. government, and because I'm outside of the country and she's not in the country with any status in the United States, we have to wait until the process is over. Now, this process has been going on for far too long. When I initially filed, it said, well, you have about, I think it said an 8-month wait, and then that quickly jumped up to 14 months. And it's currently been 12 months, and the website is saying 5 months still waiting. So I started talking to some professionals about how I can reach the office, how I could possibly get this moving forward. And good news for a lot of people watching the channel, I'll be able to bring a lot of information forward, not just for my case, but for other Canadians that are looking to do the same thing. And there are some experts out there that are looking to help. Now, moving on with some of the reasons why you would want to move. Now, again, it was an economic situation at the very end of the day. We had a choice, move to another town because it's just too expensive to live here. And when you have to pack up your kids out of school and you have to quit your job and you have to leave all your friends behind, what's the difference between 30 kilometers and 3,000 kilometers? Well, there isn't much, except that you'll find much nicer weather and probably a better economic situation elsewhere. And that's why we've decided we're going to be moving to the great state of Texas when this process is over. Again, doing it the legal way. Now, a lot of Canadians are considering this as well. We look at the situation that's happening here. A lot of people calling it criminal. It should be considered criminal. This is a graph of Canada's official internal reserves, or international reserves, and it's juxtaposed with how much gold reserves we actually have in the country anymore. Yes, our gold has been sold off. It's been a long time coming, but it looks like we are up shit's creek. Let's just be honest. Our political class has sold us out in order to make themselves rich over a period of time. This is why I've been suggesting people head on over and purchase their own gold. That's a great way to do it. The link is in the description down below. As, our friends over at New World Precious Metals have been helping a lot of people, a lot of Canadians out in this. You guys can pause the screen here, get the QR code. They've been around for our channel, for this channel for a very, very long time, and they've been very helpful to a lot of Canadians getting out of this mess. Hit that QR code and you'll get in touch with Bryce Wade, and he's a fantastic guy and he'll help you out. But we had some ideas moving in to this new era, and we had hopes moving into an election. We had hopes. Those hopes turned into a really, really bad campaign, and the Liberals doing what they do, which is be very savvy politically and convince the public, along with their propaganda outlets. Let's be honest, the CBC, CTV, Global, the whole kit and caboodle, the whole shebang that they've paid so many billions of Canadian tax dollars for, and match that with a very extremely flawed electoral system, and you get what we have now today. Now, our fiscal situation is looking tremendously terrible, and the PBO came out just on Friday to tell us all about that. It's really not a great situation, and even the Liberals who were trying to spin it during the conference there, this meeting with the PBO, they were met with devastating answers.
Our deficit staying under 2% of GDP and debt holding near the low 40% range. Would you agree that these kinds of thresholds are really, in practice, fiscal anchors that signal some discipline?
I would go back to one of the comments I made at the outset that, like, the most important word in the release this morning was unsustainable. We didn't choose it carelessly. I've been in the office for 17 years. I was working in the federal government putting together budgets for 10 years prior to that. You got to be you choose these words with prudence and care. And certainly we don't want to be alarmist. And at the same time, the current path we're on in terms of federal debt as a share of the economy is unsustainable.
So he's trying to put it nicely. What it really is it's economic collapse. That's the direction that Canada is heading in. Absolutely. And yes, there's a AAA rating, and they're always going to yell AAA ratings for borrowing. But that's just borrowing. At some point, you won't be able to pay back what you've borrowed. And what are we getting for this? Are we getting new infrastructure projects? Are we getting anything? Under Justin Trudeau, we got nothing. We have nothing to show for it. It was all services rendered. And with Mark Carney, it's more of the same. This is really the situation. We have, what's one of the recent ones? I guess Carney didn't listen to the dire warnings from the interim PBO said over the last couple of days. The Canadian government is giving Algoma Steel $500 million of federal money, federal and Ontario money, in order to do what? Give it to a company that the CEO themselves says has no practical foreign market outside of the United States. So if they can't sell to the United States in an economical way, they have no customers outside of that. So just give them money so that they can fail later. Kick that can down the road, no problem. It doesn't look like the tariffs are going to be pulled because the government of Canada won't budge on things like the dairy lobby. This is a big concern to the President of the United States, and that is not going to change. It's not going to change at all. We have here John Fraser saying Imperial Oil sees no signs of the Liberal government following through on their empty promises. Tim Hodgson, the Minister of Energy, put this out, made this tweet saying how disappointed he is that the company will be pulling out of Calgary. That's right. This is the reality of the situation. That's right. Imperial Oil to cut the workforce by 20% by the end of 2027. this is a big thing, and this is leading to why Canadians are getting out. They're getting out. The Canadians that can, the Canadians that want a future for themselves, for their children, for their children's children, are looking at a different approach. They've tried it. They've tried convincing the government to change their ways, and the government said, no way. They said, we're putting our elbows up, and that's been the decision. And it looks like I don't see any foresight for the next given period of anything moving in any other direction. I know there's a lot of hopium and copium out there that there will be another election soon. I don't see it. There's no incentive from the Bloc Québécois or the NDP to rally with the Conservatives and take down this government. If a Conservative government did come in, those parties would not benefit from that deal. So I don't see that. Now, Canadians moving abroad hits a new record high as the country fails to compete. We just cannot compete with anybody, let alone the United States. Now, I read this in yesterday's video, so you can go back and watch that. But some key points: immigration and why you should care. Emigration. Emigration is the opposite of immigration. It's people leaving. Now, this is why you should care, is because it's the brain drain. The brain drain is most people that are leaving are not going to be entry-level position people or things like that. The people that are leaving are going to be leaving with the skills that they've acquired when they were here. They've gotten skills, and they're not seeing benefits to the sacrifice they made to get these skills, like doctors, lawyers, journeymen, this kind of thing. Those people will be heading off, and in replace of that, we'll be getting unskilled students and laborers from foreign countries, as we've been seeing in present times. Canadians are leaving for other countries at record volumes. It's the highest it's ever been. This is really, really a sad sight. Now, there are some people that are hoping, and we keep hearing the rhetoric from Donald Trump that Canada is going to become a 51st state, and that's the next thing. He's back on that train, by the way. Here's what he said yesterday.
And we've begun construction on what we call the Golden Dome missile defense shield. It'll be the most sophisticated in the world. You watched it do well until they had some problems at the end with a little bit of a lack of ammunition, defensive ammunition, but they've got that taken care of. But I tell you, it's what we're doing is so good, and we deserve it. You know, we help other countries with it. We don't have it ourselves. And Canada called me a couple of weeks ago. They want to be part of it. To which I said, well, why don't you just join our country? You become 51, become the 51st state, and you get it for free. So I don't know if that made a big impact, but it does make a lot of sense. It actually makes, because they're having a hard time up there in Canada now.
Oh, they are having a hard time, but they're having a hard time. It's funny because this rhetoric actually helped the Liberals get elected again, and that was very funny. Donald Trump. Despite that, Donald Trump has been doing a fantastic job down in the United States. Again, showing the record of where they are and how they've been doing is just off the chains. It's really, really off the chains. Just 8 months, Trump administration has secured the record 170 billion in global contracts, 14 times higher than the same period under Biden. America is back in business. How is Canada doing? Well, out of curiosity, I just asked Grok how many global contracts Mark Carney has secured since becoming PM. Well, guess what? It was 43 global contracts with Brookfield Asset Management Firm. That's right. The country's being looted, folks. Let's just look at it how it is. The country is being looted, and we're going to be the ones left holding the bag. Are you going to be one of the ones left holding the bag? Well, that's why I asked this. I put this out on Twitter. I'm working on a way to help liberty-loving Canadians, and I emphasize liberty-loving Canadians. If you want to take Canadian values like socialism, things like that, don't go to the United States. Stick around in Canada. That's the best place for you. But if you are looking for a better life and a new way of looking at things, perhaps with some American exceptionalism, because it's exceptional. I'll be working in the next few weeks and months on this. I have some partners that I'm working with to help Canadians find this path to get themselves into a better situation. There are a number of people that have gone through this and have gone through all the steps that are looking to help other Canadians. So possibly as early as next week, the video will be out on the channel. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because more of this information will be getting out. I hope to bring this to the most liberty-oriented people that want to make a better move. Now, of course, I am in tremendous support for what's happening in Alberta with Alberta independence. I hope the best, but everyone needs to have a plan B. Make sure you have a plan B, because yeah, if that doesn't pay off, well, you're going to be left holding the bag as well. So I'll leave that one with you guys. Love to hear from you in the comments down below. I've gotten a lot of comments on Twitter about this. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Would you like to learn more about how you can move on as I'm moving on, as other Canadians are moving on? Let me know in the comments, and we'll be bringing you more of that in the next couple of weeks. We'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.